Oh shit.
Oh shit.
I was answering him. It's fine. Oh hey, that's not the right link. I just sent them all. No, I just sent them the link to join this call. I deleted it. No, I deleted it.
Someone says they can't hear you.
It would help if I turned the volume up on it. Can you hear me now? Can you hear everyone now? Everyone else. I'm insanely quiet. Why does this fucking keep happening?
You gotta talk louder.
I'm not doing that.
You will eventually. I
What
know
the
how you get.
fuck? Yeah, it's true. That will happen.
Someone said there he is, so maybe
Is it?
maybe you're good now.
Is
Everyone
it
audible.
better?
We're good now.
Yep, I think you're good now.
Okay. Good. Good. Yeah. Well. Hi, people. This is a stream. We're gonna watch tape and stuff.
Indeed.
I'm gonna try and do the thing that I was doing a while ago and like follow an outline and a plan and talk about
Yeah,
stuff,
I'm pulling that up right now too.
not just look at tape and riff. So on that, two things I want to bring up. The AMCF is has some board. It's got a board position open. So if you want to be on the board, you can apply for that. And
Doesn't that close like tomorrow? So
it
you have to go
might. I
apply.
don't know. So yeah,
I think they have to go apply like right now.
go apply right now. I didn't really pay attention because I already am on the board, so I don't have to apply. Uh, there's also the VP spot is open, and we're looking for marshals, head marshals, so like paperwork type stuff, not just you
Head
know.
marshals,
Yeah,
like oh, for each
we're
each.
thinking about breaking the country up into regions.
Okay,
We haven't figured out what the breakup would be. I think that's going to depend on how many qualified candidates we get.
yeah, that makes
But
sense.
anyway, yeah. So if you want to do those things, sign up. And if you don't want to but are willing to, sign up because we need people. That's what makes this work. Also, if you haven't registered for War in the North, do that.
Yeah, I
Go
should do that.
go to my event. Oh yeah, you are coming to my event.
Is that the tins?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll be at
you'll
balls.
be at balls.
Oh, why would you do it during balls?
So it came up that the competition was Valhalla and balls, and it was an easy choice to start with Valhalla to be competitive with. And then they moved Rookie Rumble, and that took a bunch of Cincy. And we were told that there were a bunch of other Midwest teams that were thinking about doing Rookie Rumble, and we went, look, one of the things we're looking for is the Midwest, and the other thing we're looking for is providing a space for fighters who don't normally get to shine to really have a
Yeah,
place to play.
that's
Um,
real.
and
That's real. I
so
think we need to do more large stuff in Midwest anyway, because I think it's probably the fastest growing region, and it might even be the largest region at this point.
it depends what we call the Midwest, right? Like if we go from Ohio all the way over to like Montana, yeah, it probably is. But
Yeah.
they a bunch of them say we shouldn't call that region that big. But anyway, that's why that happened. Yeah, you guys should register for that. Um, yeah, and that's that. That's what I got. I got some guests with me. That's Michael Galaxy Pants Johnson. It's Brett, the coach, Skinner. They're gonna talk. Mostly
Okay.
we're gonna make jokes, and I'm gonna
Brett's
argue
gonna teach us stuff, and we're gonna troll.
and I'm gonna argue with Brett and about why he's wrong, despite the fact he beats
Yeah.
me every time.
It's mainly
That's
just going to be arguments.
yeah. That'll be how it
We are
goes.
really good at those.
um, yeah. So that's the biggest thing. We're in particular what we're really going to be looking at are the War Lords and the War Pigs performances at Buhurt World Cup, and then we might go depending on if we go do deep dives into that or whether we do more just kind of an overview of that. We might pick up the IMCF stuff and look at USA One, USA Two, and then I threw in Canada Two there because I like Josh, and I want to make fun of him for not getting to fight with his team.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and with that, do you guys have any plugs, personal things? Where can people find you if you're online and stuff? You got events you're
No, I
going
guess
to?
Warlord Bread on TikTok. Uh, that's about it. I think next event I'm going to is in Calgary, so I'll see half the Canadians at least. So should be fun.
That'll be cool.
That same weekend, I have a pro fight in Omaha. If people want to visit the Midwest
What
and see me
weekend?
fight there,
What weekend is
that's
that?
July 24th. Or no, that's June 24th.
Yes,
Yeah.
June
That's in
24th.
2 weeks.
I was like, you gave me the wrong date. If that's
Nope, that is June 24th. My bad.
cool. Also, we were talking a little bit online, but I'm gonna make you say it out loud again. Oh no, I fucked up my thing. I have to have the chat open. All right, sorry. Brett, why don't you have steel on your website?
Oh. Uh, so if you need something, you can contact me straight. So my schedule's been kind of crazy and it's hard to keep up with orders when I leave the website on. So when things are calm, I leave everything up on the website. When it's not, then I don't, and people can contact me directly. And that makes it a lot easier for me to manage how big my queue gets. So if you need something, you can contact me, but I wouldn't expect anything to be up there anytime in the next few weeks, at least, just because of schedule. And I do that on purpose just to, I've had too many times where I've gotten busy and then my queue has gotten incredibly big. Uh, and it's a bit overwhelming. So now I just don't sell when I'm busy.
You should maybe charge more and then bring on some help. Maybe a long-haired, bearded fellow.
So I have increased prices, and that didn't really help. It turns out having an employee is a lot of work. I did that and got rid of Adam earlier this year
I bet
because
Mike
it turns
is
out
less work than Adam.
it's possible. It's
The
possible.
downside is I don't know the foam stuff that Adam would know. So like
So he has to
overall, I'm
teach you
less
stuff.
of a valuable employee for
So,
Brett than Adam would have been.
I mean, the other thing is a lot of times the problem is that I don't have enough work to keep two people busy the entire time. I have too much work for one person to do. So I either have to have someone who wants to work part time here and there, or I have to give someone the lion's share of the income and spend my time growing the business. And then there are things when you have an employee that like are obvious, but until you actually do it, you don't realize how stressful it is, which is like when it's just me, if I have a slow month, I don't care, right? Like I've got enough money, I'm not hurting, it's going to be okay. If I have a slow month and someone's taking $600 $700 out of my account every week, suddenly I'm like, holy shit, I got to sell stuff
Yeah.
because it's someone else's paycheck. So there was just a lot more stress with it, which is why I went away from that.
That's fair. All right. Well,
Yeah, hard agree, Kearney.
sorry, Mikey. I tried to get you a job. It failed.
I mean, I'm okay. I have a job.
Yeah, but like a job making stuff.
I mean, yeah, that's
Stuff
fair.
that
That would have
that
been
you like.
yeah, that would be preferred, but
All right. Anyway,
oh well.
with that out of the way, real quick, I'm gonna read some Buhurt news stuff down. Just gonna blast through this. I posted an article online. You can go read it.
It's a good article,
I know
except
people
for your misspellings.
don't like. No, apparently those are fun. Boris told me, so they stay. I know people don't like reading because it's hard. So yeah, with that out of the way, there was an event in Virginia, Grapes of Wrath. Iron Lions hosted Imperium won. They are a new team out of North Carolina. They had Brennan and Dylan Sweeney helping them out, so it wasn't just new talent, but still pretty cool. New team coming out, beating some established people. Iron Lions took second, Bastion took third. In Texas, they had some pro fights. Taylor fought Mikey. Taylor won, edged him out. Adam fought Kenny, and Tom Tice fought Charlie. I didn't see those two, but Tom beat Charlie, Adam beat Kenny. Coastal Chaos Maine hosted the Reavers hosted their first event where they were able to field the whole team. They had 4 teams. It was a Buhurt, actually a Buhurt international event. I don't know if points counted to the league standings or whatever, but it was one of those. Montauk Marauders, who I had not heard of till now, took first. So cool new Canada
That's
team.
Ryan's team.
It's Ryan's team. Oh, I thought it was Land's team. All right.
Well, yeah, but like you also know Ryan from it. Land is less involved because he's even farther north.
Okay.
What's Ryan's last name?
What is Ryan's last name?
Ryan from Scalagrims.
Yes, that Ryan.
Ryan de Scalagrim.
Okay.
What
Coombs.
French? Coombs.
Coombs.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I know so many people from just their Facebook name that
Yeah.
I have to get the second name a lot of times to be like, oh,
That's
yeah.
absolutely fair.
Nordic Quebec took second. The Reavers took third. Steel Legion got fourth. The Ventura Mega Bowl was a huge West Coast event, which was really cool seeing that happen. I haven't seen a big West Coast event that I at least was aware of for a while. Ordo took first. Ventura Solados got second. Blood Eagles got third. Obviously, also there was the big Harambe tournament, which looked...
I think there was a 2-way tie for third. Maybe there's a 2-way tie for fourth. Maybe I'm lying.
For third, it was like they gave it to War Pigs, but then they looked at the points and Blood Eagles edged them out. That's what Joseph said on his Facebook page. So,
Okay, that's probably correct.
I'm gonna assume, but I mean I've already got a couple of things wrong on this, so not with me talking, but in the article. If you go read the article, I've already made the corrections, but it was cool getting things wrong 5 minutes after posting. Just immediately, dude, you suck at this. It's like, I know, actually. I'm actually...
But nobody else is doing it. So
Yeah,
you're still better than
what you get.
everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome
I
that
am
you're starting this by letting
currently the
everyone know
best.
what's happening.
I'm currently
So-
the best at this because no one else did it. Harambe Quinez took first. Very expected. What was not expected is Nashville showed up with 2 teams and got second and third. So that was fucking dope. World Leaders and Gallus Company in that order. Women, Pegasi, which I believe is the DFC team, took first. Steel Coven, which is Southern, and I think South Carolina specifically, but maybe just Southeast, took second. And Da Marie, I don't know how it's pronounced, but the women's team from Nashville, I believe, took third. For duels, Sword and Shield, Sean Fabian got first. Michael DeBruyne got silver. Mitch McCullough? Isn't that one of the senators? Mitch McCullough? Is that? I feel like that's a senator. I feel like
I just sent him an axe.
he got bronze. Men's polearm, Ben Shiner got first. Bentley Muris got second. And Matt Dodsworth got third. Men's longsword, Mickey came in first. I've never seen him fight longsword, so that was interesting to me. Chris Sanner got second, and Sloma came in third. It's doubly interesting to me that because I don't know Sanner, but Sloma's somewhat decent at it. Like he gives me a run for the money. So Mickey actually winning in that field is
he posted
legit.
He posted the video. Did you see the video?
No.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah, he
Whose page?
posted
His
a Facebook
page?
his page.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
I watched the sword and buckler. I don't think I watched through the sword and longsword or the longsword. I watched maybe the first 30 seconds and moved on, but it's there.
The second most boring type over the most entertaining type.
All right,
I guess it's the fastest.
In fairness, I watched 30 seconds of both videos.
Yeah, I was gonna say
one was just already
one
over.
ended in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's fair. Men's buckler, Mickey took first, Fabian took second, Jamie Haley took third. Women's polearm, Celeste took first, Stephanie Kite took second, and Jocelyn Wright took third. Women's longsword, Celeste took first, Asha took Huolgyun, I don't know how it's pronounced, took second, and Sandy Offerman took third. Women's sword and shield, Celeste took first, Kelsey Leader took second, and Heather Sanner took third. Oh, hey, it's a couple, unless they're brother and sister, but it seems like there's a couple fighter. We love to see it. And sword and buckler technically given to Kelsey, but no one else showed up. She did fight Fabian in an exhibition match. But who cares? It's an exhibition. But it happened. Upcoming, there's a shit ton of Buhurt international events. I'm not going to read them all off, but the next one is June 17th, Tournament of Deeds in UK. If you want to look them up, they're in my post or on Buhurt International page, probably on the MCU page. They're easy to find. AMCF, IMCF, less easy to find, and there's fewer of them, so I'm going to actually go through these. This is the Omaha Pro Fights that Mikey mentioned earlier, June 24th. Dallas Fight Nights, I don't know why that's under IMCF. That's not an IMCF thing.
I wouldn't think so. Well, I guess, what is it under now? Buhurt
Well,
International, maybe? Like, there's no...
Dallas is doing Fight Night Pro Fights. So
I assume we're fighting under WMFC rules, but I don't know
that's
that
a
that exists, so...
Is that this Friday? Next Friday?
No, that's July.
July 7th.
July 7th.
July 7th.
Yeah.
And then we have a like regional scrimmage thing on the 8th.
Okay. Yeah. So that's cool. Go to those things. Steel Legion is hosting a big event at Kick Ass Con in Peabody, Massachusetts. Mostly melees, but there will be some singles. So if you're in the area, come check that out. We're in the North, August 12th. Steel Legion is the July 4th weekend, so July 1st, I think. We're in the North, August 12th, Minnesota. Register, come fight. Cheese Cup in September is in Vermont. 2 Canadian teams are coming, and they'll be stacked, so come to that. It's in, I don't remember, September 23rd, I want to say. It is... they have a bunch of prizes. They have a bunch of sponsors, so it's a good one to come out for. It's got duels by IMCF rules, and it will be a Buhurt International if we can get enough teams. And then IMCF has announced that they're going to do their first international tournament that is not a championship. The Aztec Challenge in Mexico. It's in November, and that's all we know at the moment. But I'm
Is that
excited
going to
for
be
that.
November? Is that their Day of the Dead tournament that Mexico does? I don't know. That's later
We
in the
don't
year.
know.
I wish I knew.
Literally all they said is November, and I don't know when Day of the Dead is this year. I assumed it was always in October, but
If it's sometimes in October, it's probably always this there. I don't remember when it is.
will there be?
But I know they
sacrifice?
get
Day of the
like,
Dead is November 1st.
all right, cool.
Oh,
And I
so-
know that they get like a week off a lot of times,
Yeah.
so they try to hit it. Like if it's a Wednesday, I don't know.
Maybe that might be why they're doing that in November this year. But I don't know. Josh, there will not be sacrifices of the variety of death, but there will be sacrifices of people's armor and brain cells.
Yeah.
ACS is doing Valhalla the first week of August. I don't remember what that is, like August 1st through the 6th, the 3rd through the 6th, something like that. Rookie Rumble is happening there, so definitely go to that if you...
It's happening at Valhalla?
It's happening at Valhalla. Like, is it... Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I said that on live, right? That's why I moved... Why wasn't
You said
North?
that Rookie Rumble had moved to there, but I thought you meant in the same
No. It moved
time
to
frame.
Valhalla. It's in Valhalla in Massachusetts in the exact same weekend. So it's
Very cool. That makes it...
It makes Valhalla again, first Valhalla was supposed to be a pretty big steel thing, and then the second Valhalla was basically just party and foam. So hopefully they're bringing it back to steel. That seems like...
I was at the first Valhalla, right?
Yeah.
That one was pretty much party.
But yeah,
and a
we also
little-
party and steel fighting as opposed to party and foam fighting.
All right, fair.
That's the difference is we actually put on armor and fought. And what I was told is that did not happen at all at the second Valhalla. But Rookie Rumble there, it does sound like they're pushing that again, and they're actually going to try and get, some decent fighting going. So that's pretty cool. Axnax, I was told is confirmed for October 6th through the 8th. I haven't seen any event drop announcement, but I have been told it's confirmed. So
I mean, you could probably just look up Legion Sports Fest because I know we're
I
for sure
did,
whenever
I did
that
look
is.
that up, and it is that weekend. As in the ACS, has not posted anything about it.
Yeah.
There's no registration out, but but it has been confirmed by leadership in the ACS. So I do assume it is happening, and I do assume it is happening at Legion on that weekend. ACW's, the Nationals are the same weekend as Axe Next. I'm just learning that now as someone posted that into my notes.
You're welcome.
Do you want to say when those are? Where those are?
I'm pretty sure it's somewhere on the East Coast because I saw
Alright.
Carney talking about it. But it's the same weekend as Reno.
Well, if anyone doesn't want to fly to Reno, I guess you could pay $150 instead to go fight at that place. Unless you're already an ACW member, in which case I'm very surprised that you're watching the show.
It's also the same weekend as Torneo de Alpi in Italy, and I think some of us are thinking of going to that too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well,
busy weekend.
yeah, a lot of shit going down. The AMA shit has been going strong. The Armored MMA that Nashville's been doing, they've done 4 events now. It's always the last Wednesday. So June 28th, they'll have another one. They don't stream it, but the videos do usually come up within a couple weeks. So that's cool. And they're booking, I don't remember if they're booking for this one, but I think they're booking for the next one. MCU has Dragon Con coming up. MCU being what used to be HMB USA. I don't know if they have anything else. That's all I got. And Dragon Con obviously is booked. If you didn't register, you're not going. Sorry, but it will be streamed. So.
Brett, are you going to Dragon Con?
I think so.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
You said something about registering, and I haven't done that, but
Well,
Larry knows that.
I was
when
gonna say,
go,
did you
so.
talk to Larry? That's how you register.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last we talked about it, he asked if I had an opponent I wanted to fight there, and I didn't have a good answer.
If would you do 2? Because I assume he's gonna make you want to fight someone big. Here's the real thought. So Larry and I were talking about doing a triathlon as a pro fight, which is we switch between the weapons every round. So sword and shield the first round, long sword the second round. It obviously won't be max weight, the correct balance unless we can find giant falchions, and then polearm the third round. And like this, he was like, Dragon Con is the perfect place to try that and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
But we haven't found anyone who is either good at pro fights or has weapon depth. And so obviously you're both bigger and better at the pro fight thing. But like, you know.
I'd be interested. We'd have to do it. Like, I'd have to like make sure that I have a kit specifically designed.
Yeah, you gotta
for
have
that.
a real kit. You can't fight with plastic.
And that sounds really tiring.
Yeah, well,
Real armor's heavy.
yeah. Mickey might be down, but he said he hurt his hand so much that in the last couple things that he couldn't even hold his sword. So I'm gonna assume he's not gonna be able to do that.
I mean, to some degree, 2-handers wouldn't bother my arm nearly as much. So, like, who knows?
All right. Well, I've got 2 maybes. That's like almost 1 confirmed. Non-league stuff that I know about besides the Texas fight that we already talked about. Oregon Brewfest is happening. Brett, are you teaching at that?
No.
Okay. But Dan is having Daniel Krug will be teaching there. Johnny Porter will be there. Creed, I think, will be there. And Joseph will be there. So it's a training plus also fighting event. Really good opportunity. June 16th through the 18th out in Oregon. If you're on the West Coast or have the money, go to that. And then Balls Camp, which might have slots open because I had to drop my slot because I have to go to War in the North. So
I think Charlie's slot might also be open since he's going to War in the North.
So even though it should have sold out, I believe there's now spaces for Balls. You'd have to reach out to Desha to confirm, but
for anyone who's interested, I will say I've done a lot of training camps. I've been to a lot of training camps. I honestly think that one's the best and also the most fun in the U.S. It's very summer camp feeling, which is like, and they nail it in a way that like I'm pretty I don't like being around people that much, and they nail it in a way that I'm around people all day and it doesn't bother me. Like they manage a relaxed, chill atmosphere while also training the entire time. They've got like a central eating place, and it's very cool.
Yeah. I'm very sad that I'm not going to that.
Same.
I agree. It's the best training I've done.
Same.
In the sport. Maybe 10 years in the sport. I don't know. However long I've been in it, which is a while.
Awesome.
You have to believe where in Oregon is the Oregon Brewfest. I don't know. I would guess near Portland, just because I think everything worth doing is probably near Portland. But I don't know. I'm pulling that on my ass. If you go to Daniel Krug's Facebook page, it should be on there. If you go to the post I made, which I dropped in like every United States or North America Facebook group I could find, I put the registration as a link into it. You can find it, but you're gonna have to do some work because I didn't save it because I'm an idiot. Yeah. Last.
I've got it.
Oh, Mikey's got it. He's gonna drop it in the chat.
Yep.
Other news. Transfer window is for Buhurt International is open till July 6th. So if you don't have a team, get your team together. If you do have a team, make sure your lineup's set. You have a month to get it done. Do it.
Wait, I'm going to ask how you have your finger on your pulse. Do you know if they changed the rule for having a Merc? No? Okay.
Yeah. Bro, I barely know that the transfer window is a thing.
I didn't know that the transfer window was a thing currently, so
Yeah,
I thought.
I only know because I started actively looking at the MCU page because Larry was like, "This is twice in a row you've dropped a stream conflicting with my seminars. Are you trying to fuck me?" And I'm like, and he was like, "No." And he's like, "That's fair. I don't think we had the same audience anyway. I just wanted to be sure."
Yeah. I mean, this is just your stream day, so.
I'm honestly, it's just the day that people have been free, or I had been free. Like next
This
week,
is the best day for me to do anything in the evening. When I get done with this, I'm filming with my editor directly afterwards because it just happens to be the day that I'm
It's film
free
day.
to do stuff.
Yeah, like next week it'll be Thursday because that's the day Boris could do, and he wants to come on. So
Heck yeah, that'll be awesome.
Very nice.
all right. Really
Brett and I will be at grappling.
really cool news. Yeah, watch while you grapple. Just put it up on like a phone somewhere, and when you guys are taking breaks, look up and watch us make dumb comments. Unsubstantiated comments that we will say with 100% confidence are definitely going to happen.
We just need to live stream us grappling to you, so you
so
all
we
can
comment
then
on it?
just comment
That would
on our
actually
grappling.
be pretty dope. So AMA, the like I said, the Armored MMA that Nashville's doing has a major sponsor. I don't know if you guys have seen that. This is actually old news, but I want to make sure everyone knows because this could be the first step in something huge for the sport. They have Jägermeister as a sponsor. That in and of itself isn't that big, but this is the first time I've seen anyone get a major sponsor without stepping 16 steps ahead. Right? Like This is the first time someone seems to be doing the business right. Not a one-off thing, not a hey, we're gonna make this work because by going viral, like just slowly building it and building it right. So
Right. And I think it's cool just for anyone who hasn't followed that, and I've only followed it slightly. I didn't kind of realize how this worked, but the way he got that sponsor was by showing a number of people he was putting in seats every month. And like when talking to him about some of the other sponsors that sponsor some of the like more extreme sports, he basically gave us the numbers that they require for you to be able to put in seats. So like I think it's interesting because it's a very clear path to sponsors.
can we share those numbers? Is that protected information?
I can go back and look. I think that
You can
he
guess.
said, yeah, I think he said for like, someone was like, you should get Monster or maybe Red Bull, but I think it was Monster. And he said they require us to have either 2,000 or 5,000 in seats, but Jägermeister was low enough that he could get it. I know that they're putting 800 in seats right now, at least if they're sold out.
So it's under 1K for Jägermeister and probably under 10K for Monster. I'm gonna.
Yeah, but it was just kind of interesting. And if anyone really wants to know, you should message him because I'm just repeating some shit that I saw him say, but it was kind of neat to think about.
Also, Joseph Brandt has corrected me. He won't be at Brewfest. I'm a liar. So, sorry, guys. that was why you were going, I lied to you. But Merc in BLUG is minus 10 points as is proposed in the recently released rule set. But Josh says the Merc's rules haven't changed at all. And I don't know if either of them are even actually disagreeing with each other, and if so, which one's right. But
I do like the proposed Merc rule thing.
Well, now, so the -10 is the one that was already up. And I think the problem with it is it means that you actually get -10 for the whole tournament, not -10 from your points for the tournament, which means that you can't have a Merc, essentially. I hate it.
Yeah.
Which is dumb.
And
but the proposed ones are nice. The proposed ones where a team gets... So from what I understood of the proposal, the idea is a team gets 10 mercenary points a year. And the season is a full year except for 10 years. Okay. Every Merc you get per event is one of those points. So you can take 10 Mercs.
I love that. I would even be okay with it being 5.
Yeah. But like, you know it's hey, we have this pool of where we're allowed to take these other guys. If I use up that pool, that's when I get fucked on these points.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
All right. Well, it's approved. These two guys have agreed. Someone let Buhurt International. We passed. But yeah, the other news, the AMCF is doing a marshal certification at War in the North. You should go. I already said the AMCF applications are open for a bunch of seats. And Bryant is stepping down from the board. So, MCU is the thing I was talking about that Larry got mad at me. Every other Wednesday, so this Wednesday, MCU is doing seminars, I believe for support only, but like, I don't know what they're about. But anyway, seminars instructing you on support and possibly other things starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's available to everyone. And if you are an MCU member, it will be available to you afterwards. They will record it and you can watch it later. These are like Zoom things, so you should be able to interact if you show up live. So if everyone leaves in a half hour, I understand. This week is about being a secretary, and I know that's all what you deeply desire to do in this sport. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that's all out of the way. That took a good half hour. We can maybe
watch some film.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's do it. You shared these stats with me, Mikey. Is it worth going over?
Ask Brett. They're his stats. Well, the stats he did for us.
You can certainly go over them if you want. You can see what they look like.
He has notes in them and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
I did not actually complete the notes on yours, but that was because I did stats for 4 teams in this tournament, and I got tired.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh crap! I forgot. This is a thing where when I do it, everything's fucked up. All right. Hey, partially working. Bear with me while I try to get my screen working. There's a cap on total number of fighters. It is 160, I think. There's a cap on squads, but like I don't think, and a cap on mercs, but like those are separate. Like if we get too many mercs, then we'll cap the squads early, or too many squads, we'll cap the mercs early. If that makes sense. And in case you guys don't understand, one of the things we did is we allowed people to register their 8-man squad because we just sort of assumed that's what people generally get used to putting together to go to tournaments, and also it's often really hard to get your to get your everyone on your team to actually register and pay their money and stuff on time. So you might be like, hey guys, get registered. But if you're a captain, you generally have that shit down. So this lets you decide to handle that on your own if you want to, which is kind of how every other sport I've ever played does it. So I sort of assume it's a better model, but we'll actually find out maybe this time. Yeah. Sign up as fighters, and like you can sign up as a squad of 8 without knowing who you want to fight with, or you can sign up as like we're a squad of 8 that wants to fight with this other squad of 8 and like these other fighters. You can do it however you really want to put it together. If you don't have the people you want to fight with, we will find it. We'll put it together, and our goal is to make even teams. That's what we're going to be looking for to do it, because we want this to be the most competitive tournament, not necessarily the tournament where you fight with your boys as much, because it's our first time doing it, and we really want to create a fun atmosphere this time around. Not that being competitive isn't fun, but fighting with your boys isn't fun, but like, in the future we might be doing this for like stakes, and this time it's, you get this one medal, and then there will never be another. We're the second annual 10v10 winner of War in the North. It'll be a different thing. If this works, which we really hope it does. So register and prove that we can do this. This is Warlords versus Ferox. Round 1. Oh, nice. Look at this. Can you guys read this on the... Does this show up? No, it doesn't show up. I have to fucking readjust this. God damn it. Why is technology hard? Yeah, I'm adjusting it. Can you read the names on your screens? I can read the names, but I'm looking right at it. Perfect. Cool. So first we're gonna have Charlie, Austin, Andrew, Alex, Nick, and as you can see, the stats are takedowns, assists, fall solo, doubles that you initiated, doubles that you received, armor failures, and referee sits. I assume that's, and then what happened on the takedown or the fall? What? But if you have multiple... Oh, you just put them both here. I get it. Okay. Hold on. They're saying you're muted. What the fuck? Mikey, can you talk? Can people hear Mikey? Hello, people. Nothing from Mikey. Alright, cool. Well, I changed my scene, and apparently that fucked up my audio. So I gotta do audio input? That sounds right, right? No, audio output. One day I'll know what I'm doing. Hey, can you hear them now?
Yeah, how about now?
Check.
Do you hear us?
Testing.
Hello.
Hey, now there's the delay too. We wait.
I know.
Solid. All right.
Let's go.
So, to
So
walk
what I
over
was
this
saying-
again.
Yeah.
Takedowns.
Well, they heard you.
Oh,
They didn't hear
Yeah.
me, right?
good point.
So,
yeah, so you know what's going on.
Yeah. So the takedown and fall type, I might separate that later. This is the first time. So I like tracking how people go down so that I can see if there's patterns so that we can shore up weaknesses. Most of the time I do that just kind of naturally from watching the video, because I watch every takedown. I've marked that you fell solo or whatever. And then if it's generally pretty easy for me to notice, like I've all 3 times that you've fallen solo, it's been the same technique or something. But I figured with this one, I would actually just start tracking it so that later on I could pull that and it might be a little bit easier to not have sort of some patterns or things slip by. But we'll see. And then the final thing, the notes, that's actually for when I go over the video with my guys. But like I said, I didn't finish notes on this one because I did this for 4 different teams this tournament, and I kind of just was like, I can't keep doing this.
Did you do the
So,
KD stuff? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might look at that later. Yeah, this is pretty simple. I like it. One of the things I've been thinking about tracking, and I'm not sure if it's going to be worth the work, but maybe I'll get your input on it, is takedown attempts versus takedown successes to try to get a success rate. What are your thoughts?
My question would be, okay, I think this is one of those, what we're talking about, like the difference of, are you taking notes for coaching or are you taking notes for like cool stats you could tell an audience? I feel like success rate is more on audience because high attack rate is generally considered good at in high level grappling. Okay. So like you should be using lots of attacks to set up your actual attack. And so like failed attacks are considered just like, yeah, that's part of wrestling. You're going to do that a lot. But I think it would be really cool to be like, but this person will hit it quicker than anyone else, right? Like,
yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, I'm thinking mostly for scouting, for eventually, I do think that we're, especially with the dominant success, we're slowly going to be pushing more and more towards the idea of repping a national team as with a coaching staff picking it. At least I hope so. One of the guys running for AMCF that's his big fucking drum, so like that might come down through there. So that's what I'm thinking of it for. It's like, hey, you don't really get to see enough of this guy. Here's some quick stats that you can look at in addition to the...
So one thing I am thinking about changing on this, and this is something we talked about, so I think you might be interested, is I am definitely going to do it the next, like when I do Calgary, I'm going to change the stat, and I don't know that I'll keep it this way, but I'm going to test it. I'm thinking about taking 2 different assist statistics. And I'm going to take assists, essentially intentional assists versus non-intentional assists. So like going into this, so people kind of know some of the background, when I total everything up to look at overall performance, assists and takedowns get added together. So I don't give anyone extra privilege or extra performance because they got the takedown over if they get the assist, because I want good teamwork. And a good setup is just as important as the takedown a lot of times. Now, the flip side of this is I tend to give people assists liberally. Like I want to try to keep as much of me deciding how good of an assist it was out. And I just want to be like, if you were a part of the reason that person went down, you get an assist. All right. Well, I'm starting to feel like I think that there's one, like if you're just part of it and you're not trying to set it up and someone's coming and essentially saving you, but you're part of this takedown, so you get the assist. I don't really like that, even though there's no doubt that if you weren't there, that takedown didn't happen the way it happened. Right. So I'm thinking about getting half points if I don't feel like this was a good intentional setup, and full points if it was like teamwork for sure, to see how I like that, because you would given just half points to assists.
I have been doing that, I completely changed too based on this, so I like that as I changed. You're like, well, maybe. right because you are right. There is some in between point where I don't like it, and so I was like, well, what if I just tried to do both? So we'll see. Maybe. I think we'll see how it works out. I think that might be, if that might not be the solution. I think it's getting closer to what the solution is. So, all right. Anyway, let's
get to it.
So Charlie, Austin,
Andrew, Alex, Nick.
Who the fuck is Alex?
Casillas.
From Ordo?
Ordo.
From Ordo.
And Nick,
both he and Nick are from Ordo.
Yeah. Nick, I think I know from Ordo.
He's the son of the Sun Father, Alex Casillas and Joel Casillas.
Yeah, I don't think I know him. I think I know Nick. But
Nick's like brand new.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I don't know Nick then. Was he at AMCF?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think I talked to him and met him.
Yeah, I think that might have been his first big thing. So here's Andrew doing what Andrew does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like Alex being on top of finishing that.
So yeah. Especially this is what I want to go back for. I mean, let's talk about the whole run actually. So one of the things that makes Andrew so good is that he'll set it up, right? He's bringing him all the way over and goes, okay. And then this is the run pattern that hopefully everyone knows, but just in case you don't, you go to the direction you don't want to run to, right? He's running down here so he has plenty of room to make that full curve to get away from the guy, and so that he can run at full speed without having to worry about his cut. Because if you run at full speed and you try to cut hard, you're fucked.
Right, and you can see from this freeze frame right now what Ringo's talking about. He's going to come back and hit the 2 on this side. You see the 2 is looking at him and has the read right now that he's breaking, but the read that 2 gets is that he's shooting to left rail or to the opposite side rail. So the 2 feels good about being able to step up right now.
Right. And especially the nice thing too is that he gets here and he kind of looks and goes, okay, now I'm going to make my run. And I bet if the 2 wasn't looking, he'd have found a different target, right? The really key of why he's so good is that he's making these really smart decisions constantly. It's not, he is fast, he is very agile, but there are other very fast, agile guys. He checks very well. There's other guys who check very well. It's in my mind, it's the decisions that he's making.
He's very good at punishing mistakes, and he's very good at creating a environment where mistakes are easy to be made.
Right. And so this is the other nice thing. This I don't know if you put this as assist, but because Alex actually ends up getting the takedown.
Yeah,
but if he had gone straight down, I would. This is one where I hadn't been doing it, but now I've changed to count it. I would count this as an assist because you see him take a step back here. So he's I'm engaged. Now I'm out to give the guy plenty of room to fall. It's not going to be a double. It's this is exactly how you should read it when you see a guy coming. You're engaged
I do
at
give
range, so that they can't put their hands on you. But you still have their focus. Just basically booga booga.
Yeah, you want to be close enough to maintain that focus.
Yeah.
So that they don't turn and look.
Right. And then boom. And then you're right. That little snap to catch is just money. Yeah. I want Austin to swing more.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I know
this is also his first tournament where the whole
while.
tournament he's using in a while, but he's using a full size axe now, which I think is the correct way to go. But I actually do think that his strike mechanics did not look as good this tournament as they normally do.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he still F'd some people up.
Charlie lost his gauntlet there. That's why I went down.
Yeah,
I saw you go back a couple of times there.
Yeah. So just a standard Asoto here. Yeah, nothing really.
Yeah, just
there.
Call that a down rail Asoto.
And so this is while keeping the guy out does let that 2-on-1 happen. I don't know. I think McCabe could leave it and go do punishment work.
So if you move back, I'll tell you kind of my thoughts. I like what's happening here because what I preach to my guys right now is that in the case of a 4v3, especially in this sort of situation, you have an active 2v1.
Right.
It is best for the 2 people in 1v1s just to stall. If you're playing Moneyball game, those are 50-50s theoretically. Okay, maybe you're the better fighter and maybe you get to take down, but theoretically those are 50-50s, and then you have a 2v1 working, which should be way higher than that. So I like to make the other opponent make a mistake, or we can just sit and watch the 2v1 beat the shit out of their last guy, and then we'll 2v1 you afterwards.
If McCabe weren't running an axe, or he hadn't been getting his axe seems to be pretty punishing from what I've seen recently. I would agree. maybe trade a guy out, but like also you can get in there and do a thing, especially because like I would have faith that Austin, if that becomes a 2-on-1, can take at least one hit. McCabe can go leave a hit on that guy and then maybe come back and get this 4-on-2 a little bit quicker. I see what you're saying, and like this, I think this
for me, it's all risk mitigation.
I know,
it's an unneeded risk.
I think it plays to the difference in our styles of how we think about it. And like another thing that I think to think about is that like,
and I'll say I don't mind trading. I don't mind one of the 2v1s peeling and then you switching so that your better striker or your stronger striker is swinging. I don't like leaving a momentary 2v1 over to the left so that you can get a 3v1 on the right to hopefully drop him more, because what if that guy ends up dropping it directly into Austin's gap?
I hear it.
Austin stays standing. But
so I'm also worried that the 2v1, unless they're clearly winning, which they are at the end, right? They're not winning here, right? But they are winning, like here they're winning. The guy's broken, but then immediately goes down. I'm worried that if they're not winning, one of them goes down. But that might be because I just don't know them as well. Like I'm
going to say, for me, trust the team. That was a huge thing. So this is a huge thing that I had to learn, and some of it came with my team constantly getting better. But I felt like I had to make everything happen, regardless if I did. And it was a huge thing for me to be like, you can just wait for the other half of the field to do its thing sometimes. And sometimes it's the smart way to do it. Right. So in those situations, if you trust your team, you play that 2v1 and then you wait for them to finish so you can 2v1 the next two guys.
And to me, it's you trust your people, but you know them, right? Like those guys might be good, but like I know Austin is going to survive that for 3 seconds. I don't know that they're gonna. Especially remember the conversation.
I mean, Austin.
Hold up. Remember the conversation we had about how you would rather be in a 2v1 than a 1-on-1 as the one.
Yes, that's not exactly what I said, but yes, I'll agree with that.
Right. So there's a worry there that if they're not clearly winning, one of them's gonna do a dumb thing and get it and end up going down, especially in bodies. That if maybe I can land one axe blow, we can end, right? Like this is not everyone should do this. This is
I would rather you prove that you can win your 1v1 if you want to do something, because I don't know, because right now you're running to try to put 3 on one person and allow a 2-on-1 your guy. So like we're talking about Austin. Austin has a broken spine right now from a shot he took this tournament.
Yeah.
Like, and guess what? It could have been this one. Yeah. You know, Austin was able to fight through it for the most part. He was in a lot of pain, and then a week later, he was like, I really got to go to the doctor. And then it turns out he chipped off a piece of his spine.
Yeah.
But like, you just don't let, at least our kind of team thing is you don't let a 2-hander free swing on a teammate ever.
All right.
And it's just too high risk. We're very risk mitigation. Yeah. Very risk mitigation.
To go back to the 2v1 and the 1v1 that you were talking about, Ringo, I think Brett's kind of ideology behind that is that a lot of people, when they do a 2v1, is that they're trying to rush it. And one of the big things that, especially with Brett on the sideline, is as soon as he starts calling that we're up, I stop and I check the field as long as I'm safe. And I'm going, okay, now I can slowly get into this position and work with my teammate more.
Yeah, and you can see me with my hand up right there. I say 4v3, slow down, we're up 4v3. Then I go, we're up 4v2. Slow down. We've got this. Like, because I want everyone to know there's no panic. Just wait. Like, we're winning.
Right.
So for that, I would. You know how you say you don't want the fighter to make the call a lot of times.
Yeah.
I would say if anything, then the coach is the one who goes like, we're fucking losing this 2v1. Make something happen. Right.
I think that's fair. That's maybe you wait for the coach to make the call on that. Though speaking on the slow down, this is where. And like this is the mistake I made constantly.
They can't see the 2v1 in frame. It's not a good 2v1 in frame at all, but yeah, your twitch is too far to the right. You cut off more of the screen than.
Oh.
Yeah.
They don't need our face as much.
No,
you can move it to the left and it'll be good. Like there's a black bar to the left that you can.
Yeah.
Because I had to change it for the fucking stats.
Right.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Right. So here's the 2v1.
Thanks, Sloma.
watch it real quick. It's not particularly.
Nick, it's that.
He gets back.
He's just going to get the
Gets
grab.
head
This
control, and then
this is a really good swap. Just the idea of Nick comes in, then you get your two-hander free. It's, a pretty basic thing that most teams do decently well these days. But
so, anyway, on this one, right, they got the guy down. They should know they're up. They have you yelling and that, and like, one of them should be getting there quicker, or McCabe should maybe engage this guy a little quicker. Again, they don't have to like rush it, but like that whole point of don't let a guy swing.
Yeah,
we just let a guy swing.
Yeah, I don't love that. I don't love that swing being
it's
happening because it didn't need to, but also
and like on the same thing here, we're like, okay, we're not running this 2v1, and we're not making it and I'm not sure there was space to make a good 3v1 there, but they're not really making it a 2v1, and this breaks everything I said about McCabe making good decisions, because you don't just fucking charge a guy looking at you.
That's bad. And again, when we talk about risk mitigation, one of the things I talk about, and he finishes this, it turns out good. But if one person is standing in the middle of the field acting like you come to me,
don't do it.
Turn around and beat the dog shit out of his friend, and then ask him if he wants to join you or not.
Especially
because I'm telling you, he's going to come over to you. You don't have to go to him.
Especially like if Alex comes in here and Nick with a certain shield comes out here. Now you can have two-handers, whichever two-handers swinging on this guy, right? Like, hey, awesome.
And Nick just has a screen,
right?
Yeah.
If we're gonna do this, switch these guys, and I do think there might be enough room to let two-handers work in there, or let two guys grapple and then a two-hander wait to soften them up, maybe. Minor thoughts. Overall, pretty good round.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good round for first time as that squad.
Yeah. Also, right, like y'all never fought before. So who we got this one? Same Charlie, Austin, Sean this time.
Alex, and then
you?
I. Yep, that's me on the right. Alex and I are on the right.
Finally looking like a big boy. What happened?
I'm trying.
I know. He's almost as heavy as me now.
Yeah, I was like 218.
God damn.
On Monday.
I weighed 231 at the doctor today, but that's like midday.
Sure.
After lunch, so I'm probably like 227-ish right now, but I need to get back down. I'm starting to get a little too much punch.
Oh, I don't. That works, but I don't really like that.
Yeah. So, as a coach,
Charlie being
when I
Charlie.
have to go over this, I'm like, "Good job, Charlie. I hate everything."
This though, I fucking love. I forgot about this. I fucking clipped this. Fucking Sean's takedown in the middle though.
Oh. Sean's grappling has leveled up so fucking much.
This is so money. All right, so in particular, I want to talk about like the placement of how he uses the pole to get around the guy, right? Like he goes and he's not trying to swing. What?
Brett gave me shit for this when I first moved down because I was like, Sean does this all the time, and Brett was like, yeah, because I taught him that.
Oh yeah, you're good. I stole it from Jake Taylor. This is just how it goes. I watched Jake do it in Australia one time. Then I stole it. It worked. Then I've been teaching him, and probably 6 months ago, he started hitting it like crazy.
Right, and this is like a backblade's a pretty common thing if you do a bunch of pulls, especially if you've been doing it with SCA people. What's really neat about this backblade is that he's not just hitting the dude; he's guiding him all the way around, and he kind of placed it. Right, he didn't impact into the guy; he placed it
it's
and
a
went,
pull.
And went, let me guide you, right? So that the guy almost might not even know that the pole's there until it's too fucking late.
Yeah, the goal is, anytime someone's rushing past a pole arm, even if they're doing it kind of controlled, they're going to be a little out over their feet. And if you can slip that pole behind their head, and it's not an impact, you're not trying to hit, just slip and then pull that head forward as they go, you're almost always going to put them off balance, add that little foot in, easy trip.
Mikey gets a cool soda down there, and I think they just put the guy on the rail over here down with
just crunched him.
Body pressure by 2 people. All right, that was pretty good. Not much, I don't know. Do you guys have any general thoughts on that beyond what we covered?
No, I think they really did pretty well.
All right. So this is Warlords
Ferris Lupus
versus Ferris Lupus. Is this? No, this isn't the Danish team. They were a wolf team too, right? Though.
Yes,
they were
Iron
Ferris
Wolves.
Lupus, only in English.
Yeah.
Of course.
They mean the same things.
God damn it. Charlie, Austin,
and same colors.
It's the same starting line, right? Charlie, Austin.
Yep.
Yeah, that was. So we've got Alex Dakota in instead of Alex.
Yeah, Dakota's in.
Okay. Yeah.
Dakota was running late, so he didn't make the first fight. Yeah, but this was kind of our starting lineup as our plan was.
How do you feel about this like hand switchy baity thing McCabe's doing?
Let me see.
So he's kind of just like doing whatever, you know, and then he clearly like he goes up,
went to switch and then didn't.
Yeah, which I assume is a bait. I mean, the run's fucking brilliant, like we talked about. I don't think this.
This was like his best round. I'm pretty sure he takes out 3 of these guys.
Does he? Let's watch the whole thing.
2.
So this is, and then right.
3.
So the really important thing on this run that I think is worth noting is that a lot of people fuck up on, myself included. So he hits the dude, kind of stops, so he's not going to overrun it, like lets the guys, like, I'm going to push off of you, but then immediately gets back, like he's keeping his momentum going the whole time, hits this dude, goes into the rail, and again, immediately, like, because if those takedowns don't work, you don't want to still be there.
Yeah. Exactly. And he did this exact same pattern the beginning of last fight. He only got the first takedown, but literally the second he hits, turns, crosses, and looks for the other way. This is definitely like a pattern that he runs regularly.
Yeah.
The biggest problem that I generally have with this sort of stuff is just that it is very, very weak to people who watch film. It's very easily stopped. I can't think of the word I'm looking for now, but
it's counterable. If you know a guy's gonna run, you try to hug the rail, and then the guy has to bait you out, and then it becomes and then the big problem is that most runners aren't as patient as most not runners, and so they'll eventually come to you, and like they could wait in the field as long, and they won't. Sean tries the same thing, not as nice this time.
So go ahead, say your thing.
I would say mostly it looks like it's too close for him to really get that same placement. You don't think so?
Well, okay. I don't like this attack from here, and it's a thing I've been working on with Sean, is that you can do the exact same attack, but with the butt of your weapon under the armpit to push them over and cross. And I've been trying to work on him with recognizing when to do each. Yeah. This should have been, he should have stayed straight and butt of armpit to finish this. And he hits one later this tournament, I think, like it perfectly. So it took him a while, and just recently he started to hit it some, but he's still not quite where he's reading which one to use correctly.
We are gonna. Oh, hey, it's Mikey on the left this time.
Yeah, I was floating rail depending on which side we needed.
Okay, but we're gonna take a look at Austin just murdered him.
Murder that man.
He's dead.
Yeah,
that's he never came back from that. It's just so beautiful when they happen. Oh, Austin gets a 3-kill round. And
technically Austin got two kills and 2 assists.
Well,
I get the Isoto there.
This one? Oh, you're right.
No, that's
you're
Mikey.
Right. Yeah.
And then I kill Sean here too by ripping his gauntlet off.
How dare you?
Yep.
All right.
Probably from like a technical standpoint, that kill for ripping Sean's gauntlet off. So this is something with head rip. You should put it back. This is like a really important thing to learn with head rips. Head rips, if you rush them, it is so common that you'll pull your opponent's gauntlet off. So Sean should have fed a different way here, but you see that hand right there. That's to feed for a head rip, but we've started to switch to only forearm because this happens too much. Sean feeds with hand, the head rip reaches over, hooks gauntlet along with the head, and then we'll pull both off. So This is kind of both of their fault. Mikey should have read that and not gone for that, but he's a little too hyped with this one.
Yeah,
But
I was.
also,
I got that sick of Soto.
we've been specifically working on going forearm across, but for a long time we did hand across, so it's a little bit of a slow transfer over. People still go hand across or hand press some.
Right.
That guy Austin Chopped is still on the ground, by the way.
Yeah.
He's the only one not up.
The helm came off. It took a lot. Like I said, he's actually dead.
I would also still be on.
All right, let's take a look at some War Pig ones, and maybe do some like.
I have not seen these yet.
Contrast. I haven't seen this round.
So Alexander, I told you Alexander Doss has been getting really good. He is on here. I think he's the far right.
Yeah, that looks like his
well,
kid.
but I'm pretty positive.
It's got the right emblem.
I think these are.
I think Dylan's his 2, Santos center, Ian on the 2 on our left, and then Jeff from Colorado is the rail.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can see his shield.
The weird helmet, too.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And this is Iron Dome. The center here is one of the more famous Buhurt fighters. He's like
Morgulis.
Yeah, Oh yeah, he was at Carnage.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of me. It's almost like I should have saved some energy for that fight. I think someone.
Nah.
Maybe.
Nah.
Maybe. I might make a video about it.
All right. God, why are people fighting with two-handed? Oh, he almost got caught too. Two-handed Falchions. But no, it looks up in time, so I guess it's not actually bad.
Looking up in time, running a 2-handed Falchion is still bad.
Running a 2-handed Falchion is bad.
Alex got a really nice little attack there. This is like that foot. You can see that left foot step forward.
Oh, yeah.
One of my triggers. I tell everyone that left foot steps forward. Back it up 2 seconds before that. You'll watch the guy's foot step forward, right?
I'm gonna put it in slow-mo. I can't fucking see it.
All right.
All right.
Foot steps forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh no! Sorry, that one is the second that steps forward. Yep. Now we hit the Soto just like that, and that's more of a rail throw. At this point, I just.
Do you?
He turned back into the open field though.
Yeah.
He started the rail throw, but then readjusted it again.
Yeah, finishes with crossbody Soto.
If you don't have head control, or even worse, they have your head, still go for it.
Yeah, I do it with underhook, maybe more. I swear I fucking muted this, but anyway. Yes, I do it from underhook a lot. Depending on what they have, I'll do it with no grips if they're tight enough around me. So, like, if people go for a head rip and I can stay leaned forward, I'll just shoulder bump for it.
So Alex, they have to be basically.
Yeah,
basically.
Looks like they were. We didn't really look at what happens on the left, but they don't really.
You go ahead. As I say, the other thing that was really cool about what he's doing is that he's pulling out of that throw really early on. So it means that he's really read the exact moment where the person can't recover.
He's like, I know you're falling, and I'm just trying to.
Exactly.
That's sort of the thing I need to now pick up because I spent so long not just trying to survive that now when I actually have to go for attacks, I throw way too much into it. I hate it.
And it's hard because you got to throw everything into it, but there's like a
point. But you have to change it, right?
You got to bail out, basically.
Yeah. Or I mean, the bailout, or like you you have to at least stop pushing forward.
Yeah, I don't mean bail out like run away, but like there's got to be a stop of your
whether it's
full
momentum. Yeah.
Whether you push off on them, whether you kind of go loose, whether you do this and you just kind of like posture up and let them
just bend over or whatever.
Yeah, bunch of options. All right, so on the left though, they just aren't really.
Jeff gave up rail there.
Yeah, Jeff gives up rail, but Ian's trying to swing on not that the other guy, and then just brings him to rail too. So we're having a one-on-one right off the bat.
I think the guy on the left, if he was a little bit better, probably should have had Jeff down in that. But this is a really good example of this is the old school H&B takedown, and it just doesn't work the same anymore now that you can't hook the rail.
Yeah.
This is like one of the things that people are struggling with. because he gets pulled right off the rail right there. It ends up being a double, but that's twice that he puts Jeff in a position that old school with rail hooking. That's one of the strongest takedowns there is, and it just really got nerfed.
Yeah,
it's true.
So I'm trying to see when Jeff gets free here with the way Ian has him. Obviously, Headrip's not here, but like I still feel like that's the guy to attack. Leave your guy. Thoughts?
I think
attack him how though?
You might give it a shot. If Ian didn't have head control or he was turned a different way, I don't see a quick takedown. That's my only thought. I might try to kick a leg and just turn back to my guy and just hope it does something. I'm not. This is kind of, if you ever have a partner coming up, wrapping around the head, if you're the person in primary control, often actually defends the guy from a lot of the options that your partner has. So it's something to think about. That doesn't mean that you should let it go, but that's a great example of like maybe a hard punch to the ribs or kidney area just to see if you can tuck him a little or distract him.
Go for a kick on it. Also, like to your point about holding it, right? Like the reason I hate it is because you have to be even better about that stopping, right? Like he needs to let go now to not go down. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and even then, he might already be a little too late.
He was.
Right? Like, you're being pulled with them, and you need to get, and like, especially if you have a two-handed weapon, you have to get that, almost clear that whole weapon. Because if the weapon gets caught, they're still falling on it.
Yeah, in fact, if you're going to do that, you need to be very comfortable with just dropping it entirely and trusting that you have a backup.
Good call.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of drop, and I would not have even thought of that. Like to drop on that moment, but yeah, that's definitely a valid.
All right, we got our boy Greg out there now.
Where? Oh, Greg's in the middle.
Center. Yeah.
Santos came.
I don't know the two on our right.
He is also using a two-handed falchion though, so I'm not a fan. So
crawl down Rail Soto. Yep.
This is I feel like a mistake. I feel like even though they're so shallow. So first off, this is a mistake I think when you have a runner in the center to push this deep, right? You've just cut off your runner's options, right? Stop earlier, let them come to you. But even with that, I think Gray at least takes the back rail and hopes something opens up because you're not doing anything there. You're not even really keeping that guy out. And then instead he kind of just whiffs and
oof.
My boy just gets real embarrassed. So is that Alex again with the?
Yeah, if we look right rail, so I call that a down rail Soto. Yeah. This was a really good job.
It's so good.
Anytime you get hips in front and they sit back against rail, this is a really good way to finish this. So basically, hips have started to come in. He's going to sit back.
Right, and so by hips in front, you're talking about Alex's left hip here is closer to the inside of the list.
Yes, and this one's a little bit. You don't want to like sit in front of them because that left in front does mean that they have rail. So it's more like you need to be able to get left in front. I think arguably, I wish his left hip was a little bit further away from the camera right now, so that guy's hip. Yeah, so that guy's hip wasn't actually behind his hip.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, other than that, I like positioning, but I feel like right now his hips are kicked out a little bit. But the guy doesn't do anything with it, so it makes the easy down rail Soto.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they sit back like that, when you drive across, it's hard for them to do the thing that they need to do to counter it because they've already put their feet out away from them, and you're going to drag them down their final, like the rail is their last point of contact.
Yeah.
And really their rail point of contact ends up being the thing that they need to move to stay up. And you can't do that. So if they sit back, great move.
This guy on this run gets lucky. He doesn't go over quickly. Like at this point, you kind of need to bail on the run. The guy picked you up.
He looks right at you, yeah.
And like he kind of saves himself by slowing down a little bit, but like just bail on it. Like you've got the guy frozen. Go try to hit this guy over here. You know, just leave. You got him frozen. Go pick a different run.
I'll also say the Israeli guy kind of did the cardinal sin, in my opinion, when you're going for an open field takedown, and it's that he presets his feet in front of the guys, so it's like for sure he's gonna try to pull a move.
Yeah.
If he instead takes a step into him, it looks more like I'm gonna meet your energy, and people will continue to run into you.
So right here, this foot should have come farther forward.
Yeah, well, but like the second he squares and gets in this like stance, there's no question that he's about to try to move. Try a move, right? If instead he walks into him acting like he's going to meet that, so people will commit a little bit harder.
What about backing away?
I hate backing away because then people definitely...
Then they know it's coming even more.
If they're smart. If they're smart, they should realize a dude has squared and is backing away from you. They're buying time to set up their move.
Yeah.
Jeff kind of just looks like gets crushed, but the guy goes with him. Alex is working a head rip. Our boy gets pushed over the bodies.
He's one with the bodies.
And this is pretty dumb. Ian engages first instead of letting the guy with the sword and shield engage first.
Yep. From a coaching standpoint, I like to tell people there's a 5-minute round. If this round runs out, they win.
Still won.
That guy has no right to decide that they fight in the middle. If he wants to win, he goes to the rail where
you are.
Alex is standing.
Right. Just stay there.
Yep. Right?
Ian
he's
scared him off from that.
What? You're a coward or whatever. And it's like...
No, right now I'm a winner. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, you are. You have to beat me to win.
Yeah. They're playing this pretty good based on that. They're not working together, though. So, like, Alex coming in, and I'm not sure whether that's him not communicating or Ian not picking it up, but...
Yep, and I
walking
don't
together.
love
and then the same
right
thing.
Here.
Yeah, that's...
Like...
And the double over the head, like,
that
risky.
I actually kind of like that. I kind of like that. I think he found his moment. I don't know about the hug, but he found his moment and he hit it.
Sure. All right. I am worried about the hug, especially near bodies. Especially like just kind of dashing, jumping over some dudes. There's 2 bodies right there.
Yeah.
That was Warpigs versus Iron Dome. There's only 2 rounds. Let's see. Warpigs versus
White Stags.
This is a team out of Serbia. The captain of this is the one who, or this team is the team that like picked us up at the airport for Prime Not Prime.
Nice.
So yeah, it's the same. They're not. I really dislike how fucking aggressive their sides are, particularly with not doing it sort of with a purpose, working together, right? Jeff comes in.
Yeah, Jeff is alone.
And like, I don't think this. Alex is also kind of marching off, and it doesn't feel like Dylan's supporting him. I don't know that he needs to be right on him the way that like we talk about a lot, but I would like him a little closer. Like,
this is one of the things that I don't like about having a 2-hander as the 2, and to make sure that doesn't get heard the wrong way, there are a lot of things that I like about having the 2 be a 2-hander. But one of the things I hate is they always lag significantly farther behind a lot of times because they don't want to like walk into getting grabbed.
Right.
But like you have to use some amount of threat there.
I think you walk in definitely in weapon support range, which means you can hit the guy if your guy gets grabbed. But I would say even a little further so that you can hit the guy past him and then you can step back once you engage, right? Like you can always establish your line and then go, okay.
Like where the one guy is on Serbia, I don't want that guy to ever be able to step there without already having to deal with threat.
Right.
Because like at this point, we'll see what Alex does, but at this point, those people basically can just 2-on-1 Alex. Once he gets to there, about here, they could 2-on-1 Alex if they wanted to.
And especially if this guy here, instead of doing that, if he'd just gone for an overhook and started dragging, probably won't work. Alex is a good fighter, but if it does work,
Yeah.
you're in a world of trouble now. They can easily get a 2-on-1 and do some work, and Dylan has to react to save him, right? Like there are options, but now you're reacting. And
you're behind, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like that. And then obviously, again,
it was very similar on the opposite side.
They're immediately separated. Dylan does get a nice. Well, I don't know what the fuck that is, but it was cool.
That looked like a guy who kind of wanted to be on the ground.
I don't know. Like, I know armor works well, but like, oh, that one landed. Okay, I wasn't sure if Santos was really just like not swinging or just only hitting armor. But when you see him hit the hip gap, the guy does react. So he was just getting armor the first couple.
The hip gap does have flaps over. Are you talking
effect.
about he's got significant armor that I can see. Are you talking about the final shot? Because I think the final shot was mid calf. You can see his armor.
I don't know where he hits.
Yeah,
that
like
one,
that's
no, it was the one before that. You like, there's one he hits and you watch him kind of move on it. That maybe that was just an adjust from the grapple though.
I think so. I don't think that guy cared too much, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
I mean, he does decide.
He
to
cared
go
enough
down
to
at the
suicide.
end,
Yeah.
So.
The point isn't necessarily, again, I think, to make them so in pain that they suicide. But that's awesome if it works. The point is to make them take a step, right?
Yep.
Like all striking, in my opinion, is a setup, and sometimes it's that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's 3v1.
And then no one's
that they're not stopping.
They tried to stop it at 4v2. Then they felt bad, so they decided to let the 3v1 go a little longer.
Happen a little bit. Like, sorry.
Give them back some of that time they stole.
All right, so let's see if Greg is a little bit better as our runner, as well as our little guy here.
Greg did tell me that he was saving a lot for 12s and 30s.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
That's what they all say.
Well, here's the thing.
But I mean, if you look at 12s and 30s, Greg did significantly better than he did at 5s.
Also, he has basically told me he doesn't care about 5s anymore. Like, he told me that at Carnage. He doesn't like 5s. He wants to do singles, and then he likes to run around, which you get to do in what the fuck?
He saw something, and then it moved before he could actually get there.
No, I just wondered what the takedown was, and it's on that hit. It looks like he gains enough in the guy's guts that he kind of collapses, because it doesn't look like Eaton's actually crunching him. So this guy just kind of like, that's before he starts putting pressure. Like, I don't know what the fuck it was. Oh, you know what I bet it was? I bet it's the rail.
That.
I mean, it's the fact that it's an Eastern kit.
I think it's the fact that
it's an Eastern kit.
He hit against the rail with his arm up, and it collapsed in his ribs a bit, and he went, I don't like that. That's the only thing I can think of, because there's nothing on the check looks like it had done it.
I mean, look at the person directly to the left going down. I think some of these people just wanted to be on the ground. I don't mean that in a rude way, but some people are like, I don't think we're gonna lose this, so like, I'll try to look like I'm putting up a fight, and then I'll go down whenever, and we'll fight harder for the ones where we're gonna win.
Gross.
Like, it's a thing that happens.
Yeah,
that was an illegal weapon handoff.
I know it's an illegal handoff, but
like, good on the War Pig there trying to stop it. That guy handing it in is illegal.
But I just, on those drops, I just feel like usually you have to do a little bit more to drop someone. Like you have to give them a reason, and I'm not sure I saw a reason. The only thing I can think of for a reason is the rail hitting his side. And that's it. But like, if that didn't do it, I don't know what the reason is. Like,
well, maybe the rail is the reason, but he was looking for a reason.
Oh, sure. No,
yeah.
Maybe it was the rail.
Sorry. I'm not sure.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, when people want on the ground, they'll find a reason to go on the ground. The other dude just fell over in a suicide because Craig ran into his back.
Yeah. It's not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think to go back to Greg not wanting to, we'll go back to the Warlords a little bit, because we can see the levels here. I think this is a great version of showing the levels, right? Because like, the Warpigs did well. They made it out of their pools. They fucking, they did pretty well. They ran pretty well. But like, the way No,
this
wait,
one.
the way the Warlords
This was our toughest matchup in pools.
did work and like clearly worked together as a team despite being new people, new to each other. Um, that was, you can just see the levels to it, the difference on it. But yeah, the thing I was saying, what happens here?
He got caught in the corner.
Yeah,
It's a cool throw, but he gets dragged with it.
Yeah. And it's a pretty good throw too.
This is like one of the few times you watch a guy get caught after not having the first step, and
So the dude does a really good job of cutting
the angle.
So he goes to where he thinks he's gonna go, right here. He
changed. He's
also
not chasing. He's cutting.
Looks like he's McCabe's slipping a little bit, and like you can see that foot didn't quite land. But
yeah, the sand wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. But like, nice job that getting there. He still managed to like keep up. Oh, he just overbalances. What the fuck does happen?
So he counter throws and he can't get his foot back in front of him. He needs to put his right foot there. Now, the one thing that I will say is, if he was a little more on the spot, he should have posted with his right hand to stay up because his Buhurt League rules. But that's tough to remember to do. I'm still learning to do it. I had at least one fall that, had I have posted way earlier, I would have been okay.
He needs to get his right foot out there?
No, his right hand.
Yeah. What were you saying about the foot, though?
Oh, he needs to get his right foot over. Like right here, he needs to step
over the body.
Just jump. He needs to jump.
Yeah. Or just big wide step,
Yeah,
but you can see he clips and hits across the dude's legs when he does it.
Charlie lost his weapon again.
So that's another stat I started tracking, because Dustin did a really good job of taking people's weapons, and I was like, that's neat. I want to see how often people are doing that. And then I realized we should do the opposite too. Like, how often have you fucked your team by losing your fucking weapon? Because even if what?
I was just going to point out that earlier we were talking about leaving your buddy in a 2v1 for something, and Charlie just did that. Luckily, he was chased, but this could have been really bad.
Yeah, especially since there's not I don't know what he thought he was getting into there. There wasn't.
We don't know either.
So, this is. Oh no, never mind. If it was a better cross, I'd be fine. So that's one of the situations where I worry about it a little bit less, because they don't have a two-handed axe and this person's in a stable position.
Sure.
And like, I'm totally okay with movement across the field, right? Like, sometimes you're going to go somewhere else to see if you get a better opportunity. And we tell our twos to look for crossing opportunities.
Right. I just don't know what he saw there to me.
There wasn't one that I saw, but.
Right. And like, on the same token, like, I don't know where it was. There was a moment there where again, this guy doesn't have a two-hander. So if he'd left, he might have been able to get a quick one, as long as he is looking back and seeing, oh, hey, did I fuck my buddy by leaving? Right? Because they would also get a 2-on-1 real quick.
Yeah.
Head rip on head rip.
Yeah, this is not a good
Not
thing
the move.
I feel like the option, especially once you get here, you get his head, and it's clear he's got a good grip on Austin, is to let go and get
We also
his
have a
fucking
head rip on
hand-
head rip on the other side.
Yeah.
Get his hand off of fucking. Yep.
Yeah. For anyone watching, the problem with this is that the person coming in is essentially head ripping Austin by head ripping the other guy.
And
You have to break the grip.
which he's starting to do now, but it's a
Yes.
little
Well, I
late.
think right now he's actually
going
just
to
in
a guillotine. Yeah.
hoping he's not actually trying to break the grip.
You don't think
he's
that's
got it
what
right
the
on-
hand is here for?
No, I think he's holding
No,
the
he's
back of the arm to make sure he can't get away. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he.
His
you
right
could
hand
argue
is
he's
doing way
stealing.
more.
I was
But-
giving him too much, but like also it's kind of late there because like the guy had Austin's back, and again Austin got to stand up. It worked out, but
But
yeah,
that was a lot of exhaustion for a fighter that didn't need to happen.
free your buddy first is always unless you can get the takedown right away, right?
Yeah.
Free your buddy first is always what I'm saying you should go for. You know, in order, I think the priorities are keep your team up, then put their team down.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
I don't know if Austin should have let go of his guy. He definitely shouldn't let go of his guy if he's not going to turn. Oh, he just slips off. He didn't.
Yeah, he needs to turn his right shoulder in. He was
saying.
really tired, and some of my teammates, I swear to God. So he's been having trouble with his chin strap because it's slightly too far forward. So when people pull it, it'll pull into his mouth, like it'll come off his chin and into his mouth. And he was going to redo it, so it finally stopped happening. And then last second, he was like, nah, I'm already nervous enough about this tournament. I've dealt with it like this long enough. I don't want to have to think about possibly messing it up.
Yeah.
And then that pulled it off and into his mouth there. And I'm like, come on.
I mean,
he's like, well,
I agree with his reasoning, but like the real answer is you change it for the one event before this, right? Like a month before this, do a dumb, simple event, make all your changes for that event, check it out. Like Mikey and I put a kit together, and I'd never worn it, and I went to like a fight like 2-3 weeks before, and I'm like, I'm gonna do a dumb duel in this new kit just to see how it moves, and if it doesn't move great, I'll use my old kit. But now I have an option to like, you know.
And you're not like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not Mikey. I'm not gonna try a new kit for the first time.
I was just making the quizzes, all right, and it was a material that I knew held up. This round I was super nervous for because we had just lost the round and they put me as a 2, which is not my strongest position. It's my favorite position, but not my strongest.
I like you as a 2. You don't like you don't think you're good at a 2?
Brett says I'm not good at it as a 2, and
that is true. Specifically for kind of what he's doing right now. You're being a little.
I felt a little cut
cowardly.
off by Sean stepping in there.
You're not though.
Why do you feel like that?
So
because I don't have that other angle to get around is how I felt.
All right, so
you just need to be closer. You don't need to be around. Like in space right there. You just
like here I see that. In the moment I don't see that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, also, if you feel like that, why don't you just go over here?
I don't see where you're.
You can't see my mouse?
Oh, okay.
I stopped running in this sport, Rinko. I don't cross the field anymore.
Everyone needs to be a runner. Everyone needs to be a grappler. Everyone needs to be a striker. Everyone needs to be a runner.
I would argue that there was no good reason to cross.
No, I mean, I agree. My point is, if you're blocked out here and you're not doing anything, but you're a man up because that guy went away, go find... Like, you have 3 to 5 seconds.
I got you saying, like, right now.
Right now.
Do it. Okay, yes,
Literally because of... Also, I just want to point out, Sean is my hero for for going, I'm not going to chase that guy because it's the dumbest thing you can fucking do. Get your 2-on-1 right away. And especially in a list this size. Like, if it's long enough, maybe you could catch up to them. But, like, also, you ran for 5 seconds to catch up with them, and maybe you checked them over, but probably not. Like,
and even then, if, like, let's say I lose a weapon and you come and trap me right before I get to my weapon thing, you still have to figure out how to throw me without me slipping and getting to my weapon sort of thing.
I'm not even talking about, like, if you can't catch them while their back is turned to you to do the push to the back of their shoulders so they run over, you definitely don't want to do it. Yeah. And maybe you could on a long enough field. Like, maybe at Spain, you could do it if you're really fast.
Yeah.
But, like, otherwise, don't fucking do it. And even then, you spent 5 seconds chasing the guy down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is my point, is right, they're up. Mikey, you don't have work you can do. Maybe there's work over here. I don't know that there is, but I wouldn't even look. I would just say, hey, I know I can't do anything here. Let me see if I can do anything here, because I know we still have a 2v2. Like, no one's going to get hurt if I leave.
Yep.
You know?
At this point right here, I completely agree. Completely agree.
I think the real answer is you kick that guy in the head.
Yeah, you could be so much closer to that guy and so much more actively engaged than you were, which is...
That's fair. There, I just stepped in and I was trying to get his leg hooks so Nick could just... Because I've got his leg between me and Nick.
Right. So I like that. The only thing I don't like is where you do this.
That, right? In the chat. Okay.
Like, why? Why did you walk that far back? Why did you let their people take space?
Because the push wasn't happening.
But look at it. No, it's already happened. Their three stepped far enough back that their center stepped far enough back that they no longer can be part of that fight on the rail. You now have a 3-on-2 pressure with someone who's just swinging from a distance. They're not really doing anything. Like, you created.
And this guy can't fucking do work either, right?
Exactly. You created it.
I didn't feel the takedown happening because that guy was holding his teammate up.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You can work that dude and you can see what happens. You have an advantage.
Yeah.
Punch him in the gut, kick him in the hip. Like, make that dude miserable for right there, chop him in the elbow. Like, they have to do something, and it's an advantage that you had for a second and then you just gave back freely. This is kind of like when I complained to you about when you have a grip and you let go of it to slip, like, and you don't need to. Don't give up your advantage.
So we're just back into things. Can Sean swing both hands? Yeah, okay. Why did he switch earlier then?
He is stronger with his right and prefers it, but he can swing left.
I mean, he's probably strong with his right. He holds left more than right these days. But I don't really know.
If you can do both, I don't think it matters which is your stronger. How does he set this up? This throw, just pulls him back and then just kind of rolls him. Okay.
Yeah, he's going for hump and bump.
Right, and then it kind of gets enough position to go and just.
There was not very good technique on that hump and bump there, but he's a big dude, so he's able to cheat it a little bit with strength. And then Sean almost
got lucky.
Making a bad mistake.
Yeah.
Did he see him? It looks like he picks him up.
He sees him last second.
Yeah. So I would say the problem, and I would almost certainly make the same mistake, is that right there he needs to just, okay, why am I fighting this guy in open field?
Yeah, he needs to circle and get his back.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I got my weapon back. But like, I would make that mistake. I wouldn't fucking immediately move. That's what makes you the top level stuff.
I think it was Charlie's gauntlet or something. Maybe his van brace on the left side. He got set.
Oh, it was his van brace was hanging off of him.
Yeah, I feel like this is the same thing. If you can swing, I don't know that.
Also, here, Sean is screaming for Austin so loud. I know stream can't hear right now because we've got it muted. But I also told Austin, "I've got this. Go." So like. Overall full team communication for him to switch there.
Yeah, which is good, especially because he doesn't have good angle on him right now. Like, you're in the way unless he can swing with his left hand high, and like everyone should be able to if you're gonna be a pole arm, because in that situation that's exactly what you want to do is just switch and start swinging lefty, you know. Though leaving and hitting the other guy till he dies also works. All right.
So now we go to round 3.
Man, there's still fucking 16 people watching this.
Hell yeah.
All right.
I'm surprised. I figured we'd have a lot of... I never go this long, so it's like everyone's just going to leave. Thanks, guys.
I gotta leave in probably 15-ish minutes. I said at 9 my time, but...
All right. We have no life. Clearly, we don't either. Since Brett's about to go do this again. For his own...
Basically. I want to go film a dumb commercial.
Hell yeah.
What did you do on this to get this takedown?
Me?
Yeah.
It's a down rail Soto that I squat out of.
Oh, nice. Cool. I like that little squat. It was nice.
Thank you. Dakota and I in the corner there sat for a second, looked at each other and discussed. Like, we didn't discuss, but we were like, we nodded at each other that we were ready, and then we started working.
Nice.
Yep.
That's exactly how to do it.
Because as soon as we get in the corner, Dakota almost loses head control to the other guy, and I cross with my shield. We reset, we nod, and then we put in work and drop him.
Yeah, well, and Dakota did a leg pinch on the dude.
Yeah.
And then that's when you all start.
Oh my god. Great teamwork and then messes it all up right
There.
I know.
Yep. I learned after Nashville not to cross in front of our axemen.
Yeah, why would you ever do it? Without being like, yo, I'm doing it.
Good shot here.
Oh.
Yeah. I like what's happening here. It's a good job trapping that shield.
Yeah.
He gets the shield free. You're doing a good job pulling it back, but I think Austin's smart about going to the other person.
Definitely. This guy was.
Yeah. All right.
We start working the 2v1
I don't
here,
like
too.
3-on-1 the vast majority of times. Because what's happening is like once you put in a certain number of strikes there and he's not going down, you have a 1-on-1, which means there's like a 50% chance
I guess
theoretically that it's about to be a 2v3, and you could instead have 2-2v1s. So like, drop some hard shots in there, and if he drops, cool. But if not,
it's to me is he didn't land any clean, and then like you have a chance. I get
how many attempts do you get to land clean? You're gonna spend 15
yeah.
seconds.
I mean,
trying
at
to
that
land clean?
point, you know you're safe. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. The other guy might not be. So
yeah, I just percentage wise, I'd rather 2-2v1s than a 3v1 and a 1v1.
All right.
Yeah.
Since we don't have much time, what are good rounds that we should look at?
You could watch. I mean, they lost to wherever at the end. I think you only have groups.
Iron Wolves.
Oh, so that might be interesting to see how they lost. But otherwise,
I mean, I'd rather watch KSR because I'm
why
still
don't
happy
you
about fighting
watch
KSR.
KSR and then the last one? So KSR is it's going to be
11 there, right after Prague Dwarves.
Oh.
Yep. And then the actual link. Yep.
That's you only have.
Man, you're really on top of it here.
Someone did all the hard work for me for once.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mikey.
That's thanks to DOS. He commented them in these videos.
Thanks,
if you scroll
Alex.
down a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Fucking
Yeah, like
he's the true hero.
I copied and pasted that
Fucking
into that
hero.
doc for you.
Dude, you should have just taken fucking credit though. I would have never looked at those comments. Never looked at the fucking comments.
I looked at the comments after I had gotten my own timestamps and then found that those were links, so it was way easier.
This is a team that clearly didn't watch the Warlords in group stage.
Yep. Woo! I have to watch that one again.
The worst part about this is like maybe 8 to 10 feet past the end of that list is just a sheer
cliff
drop off, and that was like one of the first ones that I'm like, oh, that one had the energy. And it was like you could run up it, so it wasn't like sheer drop, but like you had to
would have been
way
an
far
uncomfortable
forward,
roll
and it was
down.
difficult to get up it. I want to see what happened. Can you go back?
Yes.
I want to see what happened to that 2v1.
This one?
Is it
right here?
no in the very
Middle
back.
of the rail corner.
Is it middle of the rail in the back?
Okay.
I think Andrew's got a grip. I can't figure out why they're fighting against each other. I want to see if I can figure it out. So Andrew goes with this kick, and then I think he's gonna. Oh, because the person grabs.
The other guy
his
has
weapon.
his axe. Yeah.
And then Charlie tries to pull, and then.
Okay.
Andrew's just
But
trying to
also
get
has
his-
Andrew's axe.
And I think Andrew's just trying to get his axe back. I don't think he's really. Oh yeah, there he was.
starts
going
pushing.
takedown, but like going. In the
He
right
rolled
direction.
into it.
Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was from a distance.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe Andrew was pulling to get his axe back and ended up
Ooh.
pulling against, but he basically just tries to hold on to it, and they
Yeah.
work together pretty well. Just Charlie isn't able to finish that head rip. By the way, that's a great example of why we always say now turn their face towards the rail during a head rip,
Yeah.
because that is the way that you get out of a head rip, by pulling
roll
your
out.
right shoulder. In this situation, right shoulder rotates towards Charlie and into the rail, which means when you pull this, you want to really try hard to twist their head into the rail, so like this doesn't happen. That turn right there is how
Saved
you
him.
get out.
He's okay. I'm going to say he is turning it into the rail, but like.
So
I guess that's by bringing it all the way through the
if
field.
rail's here,
I see what you're saying.
I need to turn this way,
Yeah.
not away from it, because turning away from it's the way to
Escape.
So just a little tip you can add in, and it makes your head rip way more effective.
Just want to point out, this is exactly how you want your two-hander to walk up with your fucking. He has space to swing. He's not right on his shoulder, but he's there to protect him the whole time.
Yeah, I like the initial walk. I think he falls a little too far back, and then he moves. He reads it and moves back forward.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of dance, and again, that would have been a time to move forward, and he does. And then.
Yep.
It's, I think really
and
good work by the.
This
by
is
Austin
here
right
where,
there.
for Mikey, I would have liked him to move back in and trade out with Austin a lot sooner.
I was worried about their 3 that had gotten behind us.
What are you worried about
They did
now?
that.
What are you worried about
Nothing now. Now I'm
What are you
coming back up.
Yeah. Why didn't you just engage the 3? Aren't you guys down to? Yeah, because he goes after Sean. So why don't you just go?
He's worried about the dude in the back
On our
there,
rail.
right? Yeah.
Go back just a little bit.
You're worried about
Watch their 3.
Right. So their 3 goes away. Sean goes in deep. Their 2 chases Sean.
So
why don't you
at
pick
this
up
point,
their 3?
At this point, I would even argue press the 2 and roll. Or
Sure.
I don't love chasing the 3 in this
I
situation.
No,
because
I
you're just never
wouldn't
gonna
want
get
to
there.
cross the field. It
I-
would take too long to chase their 3.
I hear you that maybe grabbing the 2 is better. It's just, pick somebody. You didn't pick that guy. You didn't pick that guy. And had you picked the 3, he maybe survives. Maybe he doesn't. You would have had to get there pretty quick.
Yeah. My opinion, that was just that guy's fault for going down, though. That's, everyone makes mistakes with reads. That's one of the reads that as a 2 is kind of unacceptable to miss, even though you're going to miss it. But that's kind of a cardinal sin, especially as you're starting to get to higher level. You can't miss that read.
You always got to know where everyone is on the field.
Especially
potential.
Especially, you can't lose the center. The center is going to be if the guy pushed through on the other rail side and ran around or something, I wouldn't complain. If the center walks straight into your backfield, then hits you from behind, it's problematic.
Yeah. Yeah, if you lose sight of the center, assume he's behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's watch the loss.
Yep.
Rip.
Watch the final one.
I was telling Charlie we need to be running our full strong line that we had discussed for this. And he was like, "Yeah, we'll run our normal." I was like, that's not what I'm saying, Charlie.
What was the strong line?
The strong line was going to be Nick, me, or no, it was going to be me, Sean, Andrew, Austin, Charlie.
You running 2 runners?
Sean is my 2 with the 2-hander.
Right.
Yeah. So afterwards, by this point, I would have happily put Nick and you on one side.
That's fair. We weren't sure on Nick ahead, but going into this tournament.
Yeah. West Coast had kept saying Nick was really solid and he's going to be really good, but he's less than a year in. And I'm like, well, is this really good? Surprisingly good for someone who's less than a year in, because that's still not great. And it's not like he's an all-star, but he's legit.
He was good.
He's good.
Yeah.
Very solid.
What happened here?
Charlie gets pulled with this drop.
Yeah. I was like, that was a super nice drop. Why did Charlie go down? Oh, that sucks. He ruined your one-shot drop.
Yeah.
You only get so many of those. And he ruins one. Ugh.
So This guy on the back rail that's Matthias Sojborg, or I have no idea to say his last name.
Which
But
guy in the back rail?
the middle
Center?
back rail. Sorry. Yeah. That's probably their biggest star. Frederick is definitely their second best, and he's the one who just got dropped by that axe strike. He got messed up.
That was beautiful by Andrew.
So takes
that
out
was
their two best guys, and then
that was
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we
that was
still fuck it up.
Oh no!
No,
We don't
not
fuck
in
this
round
one
one.
up.
Oh, it goes 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, because they white flag round 1.
You know, not the worst choice. They
No,
white
it's
flag.
smart play.
Obviously, it wasn't the worst choice. They beat us.
They white flag after one more, or
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see guy in the center, Matthias. You'll see him call it. They get one takedown. You'll see him look to one guy, then the other guy, and be like, "Nah."
They just put them all in the corner.
and then they can just fucking go with those axes. That almost worked. I like that. I like that. That's a sneaky little run. It's not a thing you usually see. Just gonna try again though.
Yeah.
I don't think
Why
it's gonna
not?
work twice. Yeah.
But by doing that, he pulls him out of the corner
Right.
And gives Austin more swings.
gives Austin more swings. So,
It's true.
so I like what he's doing here.
Yeah.
He's putting himself in a position to possibly make something happen, but he's also holding a guy at the same time. So now once this guy steps in, I want him to step in more. And there he is. He's there to add a strike or two. So I think he's playing that really smart.
I think Austin kind of boxed him out, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know that Austin really knows how to play the I'm going to help my buddy hit with a pole arm roll.
Possibly. I think he plays the Osoto game, though.
Yeah.
Decently.
Hey, yo.
Hey.
Yeah, and there you go. You see.
Yeah, you
Matthias
see
calling
Matthias.
the-
He's just like,
Yeah.
he's like, nah, just stop it.
Smart.
Yeah, very smart.
Alright, so
So now we can see me fuck it all up.
are you the problem? Are you the problem?
I'm always a problem. If I'm not a problem for the enemy
Oh,
team,
hey.
I'm a problem for my team.
We're down to 12 years immediately after I said that.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Whew.
He lands some good strikes, but I think this is Matthias does a real good job here. Gets that takedown, turns it through the rail.
Oh, I didn't see him get the
Yep.
leg in. Nice.
Yep.
Damn it, Matthias.
Who is this? Is this Nick?
No,
You paused
that
it right
is-
where.
That is Casillas, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Alexander
Yep.
Casillas.
And he's like my size, yeah?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he almost gets his feet free, and you see him hug on pretty tight to see if he can
Yeah.
recover, but he's unable to do it. Then Sean makes a good attempt here in a second, but he turns out of it. This is a problem a lot of people have with Osoto, and this is, in fairness, this is his first tournament where he's been hitting Osoto. So, but right here, he needs to stay straight, and he
Yeah.
starts to turn out of it, and that turn makes you slip so often because it becomes a pull instead of a push, and the push generally digs pretty deep. As you turn, that pull will get slippy.
So
And
why
it's not.
don't we throw a flag?
Because we don't throw
well-
flags, homie.
I wasn't there, but also they didn't have a bunch of two-handed axes about to blast us. So
Yeah, but
Um,
aren't you gonna tire out two of your better fighters in a 2v4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably. I was coaching all of the
You were over for Dominus.
things. Now because we were into the finals and I was also fighting.
Right.
I was over by my stuff, just being in my own head.
Yeah, it's valid. But like, yeah, on the same one. Like, I guess if you pull it out, it's dope. But
Yeah. So if I was on the field, I would not want my coach to throw the flag here because I am not at risk of injury. And I feel like I have a real opportunity to possibly win this, regardless if I do. Like this goes like this is obviously a very good team. But like I want you to give me the opportunity to pull this off because I'm not at risk of being injured. If we flipped this and it was two halberds going to town, then maybe I see the white flag reasoning. And I think that's what happened the last fight when they had two guys up, is we had two-handed axes about to like rain down punishment.
Yeah.
And they needed to have those guys. Also, look over here on the left rail. Charlie's such a piece of shit. I love this. Watch this.
Is that like a...
He went to tap it and used it to help grab it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Dude reaches out to tap. Charlie like basically like scoops it into his hand with the tap.
Yeah.
I'm like, you son of a bitch.
It's like when on the tap you punch him right off.
Yeah.
Touch gloves and punch.
And I will say, to your point, Austin was exhausted this round. And this ended up being, Frederick, who got jacked in the back that first round, was hurting pretty bad, but he was able to just hug on to Austin and fall over.
Charlie.
This was the round where I specifically talked to you.
He's doing the thing you tell him not to do with the leg out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like he still should have survived it too, though. Like, even looking at that, I'm like, that looks like a survivable.
That's just bad rail discipline, is what I like to say. And then Andrew, again, he's not going to be able to get anything going, but this is like picture perfect what I want from someone when they are the person who has to make plays and you're down, is that he's just going to keep looking for options and he's going to keep making attempts, and the attempts aren't going to be there, but like you'll see he goes for an attempt there, goes for an attempt there, he went for an attempt earlier, moves again, like tries to get the throw there. Like right here is where, and then he finally fucks it up. But I don't really mind that because like you have to, and you've got to take the risks. And this is kind of where when you were talking about like attack hit percentage from a stat, where I'm like, I don't like, this is a dude playing it right. Like he's gonna tank his stat because he has to tank his stat because it's the only chance of winning. But again, I still think it'd be a fun stat to look at.
I mean, and also, like, stats like that, I think, only show value when you have at
a bunch
least,
of other stuff.
Yeah, 10. 10's probably not enough. 20, 30
tournament
matches.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say tournaments. 10 matches is nothing.
10 matches is like, you might see a trend, maybe. 20, 30 matches, I think, is kind of really your minimum to catch these trend analyses in.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like the plus minus I do, I'm doing for the executioners. I put every single event that we're gonna do this year, and I put Reno from last year, and I'm just gonna track them all, and hopefully I like in one big set, in addition to the normal, in one big for each one there's the normal stat breakdown, and then I'm putting them all in an aggregate. So hopefully, from that. Like the plus minus, the how many people are up versus down might finally start to
really show. Yeah,
because like that's the thing is it doesn't matter in a tournament. It doesn't matter in 2 tournaments. It might matter in 4 or 5 tournaments. You might start to see it. Because
I basically did that last year with Mythics just because I wanted to be like, I want a whole year. Like, let me see what the actual trends are. And it's not even just the plus minus. Like I 100% agree with you with the plus minus, but like there are so many people who have wildly different scores in different tournaments, and you're like, well, what's actually happening here? Are they having a bad day? Is this tournament just way easier? Like, and having that whole like year starts really establishing.
Yeah, because like usually for me with the executioners on that, I would just kind of remember. But yeah, it's what is what you think you're seeing actually there in the numbers. That's the whole reason we do the stats. So like having that aggregate is one of the other things that would be nice with that is that you can start to maybe try to put like a challenge rating per tournament. You know, and like that. People have talked about good ways of doing it, and I have none yet. But like that's, I think, one of the next levels is sort of like, how well do you do against top tier teams? How well do you do? Actually, it might be pretty easy in that, like, hey, these teams generally compete in Buhurt Gold. These teams generally compete in Buhurt Silver. When you see them outside of that, how well do you do against each?
Yeah, and like you've seen on my stats, I track which team each one is, but I don't actually ever track it. You know what I mean? Like it's there so that theoretically I could look at it at some point. I've never tried to figure that out, but I think it would be neat.
Yeah, I agree. That's there's a lot of things that would be neat that we'll see if they. All right. It's getting close to the time Brett needs to go. It's 10:00 here.
Yep.
So I no longer go to bed like an old man, but I'm still gonna get ready to sign off. Yeah. So I feel like I had a few more things in my outline, but I don't know where they went. Yeah. Do you know where? I don't have it though. Do you still have that up? What am I supposed to talk about?
It's above where those video links are, homie.
Is that? Oh, that's the thing. Oh, hey.
That's other news than main topic one. Oh, it's below the videos. It's closing stuff.
Right, cool. If you're still here, I don't know where my stream went. There we go. All right, you guys are still here.
We're good.
I didn't close it.
Yeah, we're good.
Register for War in the North. I said it again, but do it. Apply for board positions. Thank you for the 10 people who are here, especially if you were here from the beginning. That's really awesome. That you took 2 hours out of your night. Do you guys? I already asked if you had plugs. Basically, you said no, but another chance to plug anything. Anything? No.
Warlord Combat Academy TikTok. Warlord Brett TikTok. We've got a tournament coming up. Not tournament, but pro fight thing. If someone wants to show up and pro fight me, let me know. Yeah. My right arm's still not 100%, so this is your chance.
God damn it.
It doesn't really affect my grappling.
Yeah, well, I would.
But or the speed of my swings, but my recovery's slower and it wears my arm out quicker. So.
Oh yeah, so you have slightly more of a chance.
It's on July 7th, by the way. Is this open call out here?
Yeah, and it's also pretty awesome that we're getting like a pretty huge crowd and it gets a little crazy. It's fun stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we sold out at the last one.
Those are fun to fight. I like the one I did once. I don't remember how many I did too.
Yeah, so we're at a different place. We're at a different place.
Yeah, it's at the brewery now.
And so now we're able to hold like 200. I think we sell 200 tickets, and it's at a brewery, so people drink.
Hell yeah!
And last time we sold out. And
are you guys doing it on a specific Friday of each month or something, or have you figured out a plan?
So we had the first one was a one-off. But we have this opportunity because we also have the scrimmage planned on the 8th, so we kind of also threw it together. They do want it more, but
so they wanted it. They wanted it more. It's always a lot of effort to put it on. So the biggest thing is this was a way bigger success than we thought it was going to be. This last one, and the guy like immediately was like, "We're planning the next one, right?" And when I say it was a way bigger success than we thought it would be, I think as a team we took away about $2,500.
Yeah.
And that's going into a travel fund to help us make it to like overseas tournaments as a team. And the second that became part of it, because that we didn't really expect that to happen from this one, but the second we realized that like we could raise significant funds for the team through doing this. Now there's a plan to try to do it once every couple of months, once a month, whatever, 6
quarterly
weeks.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So dope. Does that mean that you're raising funds that you'll pay for out-of-town fighters some of their flight fees?
Probably not right now.
Well, it's worth a shot.
So wait, I think that if we continue to grow this, I think it's actually possible. We could do similar to what AMA does if we wanted to, I think. But right now, it's a small enough venue that like we're selling out at the number of people that we have in.
Right.
So yeah, we could probably pay someone, but also it's nicer when we put it in a coffer so that teams can go places.
It's your money.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So last things. One thing I used to do is give a recommendation. Just like things I've been liking, shout out stuff. So I'm bringing that back. I already just binged podcast The Martyr Made podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple, all of those podcast places. And the first 5 or 6 episodes are on the Israel-Palestine conflict. And I thought I knew a lot about it, and holy shit, did I not? And like this just gives you like the setup. It doesn't even go to the 6-day war, but like breaking down a lot of what happened in those early days, and a lot of this is even new. Like they some documents have like been declassified in the last 10-20 years apparently. So a lot of really interesting shit in that. It's really good, especially if you like Dan Carlin, the hardcore history stuff. It's the same style. Highly recommend. I don't know, Mikey, I told you and showed you the outline, so hopefully you have one. Brett, I don't know if you even looked at the outline to know that you should have something to shout out, but if you do, either of you guys.
And it doesn't have to be Buhurt related is the thing.
Obviously, as mine is related to a hot topic political issue. The people have
all right. Here's one that I recently started watching a lot. If anyone just enjoys fighting, a really fun YouTube series is Mighty Gaming. It's Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse. Mm-hmm. Just loves doing breakdowns of street beefs.
Yeah,
and they are so fun to watch because he's funny and like really happy guy, so it's like enjoyable to watch, but he'll also add in just enough good technical shit in there that you like really learn at the same time. Like, and it's made me look at some different stuff about fighting different ways. I'm like, it helps me develop my skills while also just like being fun, because I'm a huge guy on watching video. That's why we did this today. But like, also if you can consume video that is enjoyable and like fills your like relaxing quota at the same time as teaching you about fighting, that's like a twofer. So anyway, yeah, if you haven't checked it out, that's a really fun channel.
All right. Also, shout out Diane Kayla for feeding Mikey.
Yeah, she ordered food because she was busy playing games.
Also, I'm gonna shout out a guest plug for Mikey. Kayla's OnlyFans helps pay for Mikey's stuff too.
That's true.
Even if
you see a hot girl in D&D themed stuff, so
which is pretty
it helps
dope.
Me go to fights. And
but
stuff.
Even if you don't like, women, help Mikey anyway.
So for my shout out, I'm gonna shout out my longest time friend Trent. He also has a Twitch stream, so you can search it right now while we're watching here. Romance Brown Jr. If you ever want to see me be very terrible at video games and talk about other life things, I visit his stream a lot too.
Is it running right now? I could try to do
it. Is not currently that I.
Good, because I don't know how to do the raid thing anyway.
Fair enough, but Romance Brown Jr., he's one of my best friends. I'm still trying to convince him to move to Texas and start steel fighting too, but we'll see.
Is there anyone you're not trying to convince to move to Texas and steel fight?
No. Everyone should do it. This is the place.
All right. Well. With that. Oh, one last thing. So this is a challenge that I'm working on that I want to give out. This is another thing I want to bring back is giving sort of practice challenge over the week. And this is either inspiring if you're good at an Asoto, and if you're not good at an Asoto, just try to get someone to drill this with you to set it up off of a strike, right? So either ideally 2 strikes. So either a 1-2 combo and then step in, or like a shield punch chop, anything that like can get you kind of offset, get their 1 foot forward, and then you can kind of just step into it. Ideally, their hands are up or they're too forward.
Can you do it out of a clinch? So your clinch strike.
I mean, yes. For me, the challenge is not to do it that way because I think that's the thing that a lot of people get training with is like
right.
is in
I was gonna give some options.
Yeah,
but
I mean, especially if people don't feel very great about the Soto, especially mixing it in. Sure, what are the options from the clinch?
Oh, just one that I really like that's fun is you go overhook left side or right side. It doesn't matter. So you're overhooking an arm and then you're pressing head here and you set it up off of a knee. So you're pressing head across. You can throw knee to the belly and we'll do it kind of soft a lot of times. But a lot of times when you're throwing that, people will afterwards will stand up hard to make sure you're not pulling them down into another knee. And then when they stand up hard, you can turn directly into the pocket between y'all to go for an Soto. That's a real fun one to play with.
All right, so that's a good one. Especially if you don't feel great on it, I think that's it. But for me, the idea of this challenge is a lot of times we don't. McCabe was doing great works of it, right? He's throwing attacks from range, right? He's not throwing them off of strikes a lot of the time. But like that's not a thing we see, as a lot of us fighters don't really feel very comfortable doing it. And when we do it, we fuck it up. And I think a good way to sort of practice that is mix it in with your striking. And like it also sort of helps you think about, hey, why am I striking, right? Because
armor works.
Yeah, right. Like you're not, most of the time you're not actually beating that guy up. Sometimes, but most of the time you're not. So, like, what are you doing with it? And hopefully that'll get you thinking about it. Again, if you can't do this in sparring, if you don't feel comfortable, just ask someone, hey, when I drill this Soto, I would like to just, like, throw some punches at you. Could you react and block the punches? Or strikes, whatever. The knees, whatever. React to the strike you're throwing. And then do it. And then don't tell them the strikes you're going to do, either. Have them do natural reactions, because you want to get that read. The real key to the thing that I'm trying to work on, and that I'm asking you to work on, is getting a read off of something that isn't a standard, I pulled them one way and now, ha! Or whatever the fuck it is. So that's it. That's the podcast, the stream, whatever the fuck this is called. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Bye,
See y'all later.
All right.